Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Dr. Kesha and the channel that you are watching from. I believe you're watching from the Impacting Mindsets Global channel and also the Dr. Kesha page. Shout out to all of you all who are watching and who have supported the channel. Thank you to all the recent subscribers. We probably won't reach our goal, but you never know. I'm trying to get at the 500 mark. I really truly am. And we'll talk about that a little bit later towards the end of this broadcast. But I'm coming to you with a new episode and commentary on Jay Majors, on Jonathan Majors. I am so excited for him. I'm so stoked for him. And the reason why I'm up and it's 3 a.m. Yes, it is. I'm up. This is not a premiere. This is not a pre-recorded video. I'm doing a live stream because I was so happy and so energized after seeing the awards. What is it? The Perseverance Award that Jonathan Majors received at the Hollywood Unlocked award ceremony. I was so happy and so full of joy that I just had to come and share. I really did had to come. I had to come and share. You know what I'm saying? I had to because, if we can report all the bad, you know what I'm saying? If we can report all the madness, then we can come back on and we can give the people the kudos, you know what I'm saying? And the applause that is well deserved. And you know what? This has been a whole week of just a lot of joy. I just have to say, we shared all the happenings on Juneteenth, in California and all the things that transpired, with the celebration there on Juneteenth, with our rapper friend, and all the people, and we just been having a good time, and so I think it just carried on throughout the weekend, and so I'm super duper excited. But enough about my excitement. I think you're ready to get into the commentary. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna share my screen and we'll go from there. I'm going to try to share some audio as well. I think that might be helpful, so that you can, get the full embrace. Okay, now the source that I'm going to is number one. When I was looking for a source, I didn't want to pull from a source that was talking slimy, you know what I'm saying, and giving backhanded compliments. Like I really wanted to find a source or some type of article with some, pics and whatnot, and maybe perhaps a video or something, some of the happenings at the ceremony. But I wanted to choose an article that to me reflected how I felt in the moment. And so I felt like the deadline.com was a really great article. And so therefore I'm going to share this article. I'm going to read the article because I don't want another copyright strike. I received a copyright strike relatively recent and I don't want another one. So I'm really trying to be careful how I move this time. But the title of this, you all see it. And for those that cannot read it, it just says Jonathan Majors thanks his queen, or my queen, Megan Good, recalls arrest while accepting Hollywood Unlocks Perseverance Award. And this is by Glenn Gardner. And this is written on June the 22nd, 2024. All right. So, which was yesterday, technically, not even a day. And so I'm glad that I'm going to add, positivity to the content on YouTube, because I think that it is needed. Number one, if you have an opportunity to watch the video, I want to encourage you to do that. Shout out to all the homies, all those that have been reporting accurately concerning the case on Jonathan Majors. We're not going to go back memory lane of all the horrors and all the things that happened to him. He's going to actually talk about it in his speech. So like I said, I'm going to try to play a little bit so that you can actually hear it from him. But I will have to say, I have to be honest, and I have to say that this really touched me. I mean, his speech, like the whole moment, like him coming on the stage, him coming from his seat, coming on the stage and being met by Iyanla. Come on, somebody, Van Zant. That was a whole mood right there. Like that one, you can just listen. When you know. That was a whole mood right there. Okay. I'm gonna do a little recap because I'm sorry. I remember all of it and I have, the video right on my phone. So if I have to go back and play a little bit, while mute, I will, to jog my memory. But the moment that he came on the stage, number one, the brother was just all in tears. You know what I mean? All in tears. And I kind of felt like I felt him in that moment because, he was extremely emotional. And rightly so, because he's been through a lot. I'm not a male, and I'm not black. I'm not a black male. I am black, but I'm not a black male. So depending on who you are, I would have to say, depending on where you live and where you're from, our experiences are nuanced. But I have to say, when it comes to the black male experience, they have a lot more in common than not, when it comes to being falsely accused, when it comes to heavy penalties, when it comes to those types of nuances and things. They have more in common than not. It doesn't really matter where they land socially, economically. They usually have like very similar experiences when it comes to law enforcement and when it comes to the courts, or even schooling, because I'm an educator. So, from what I observed for maybe over 25 years in education, I see a lot of, similarities, but in which and how males are treated, black males in particularly, when it comes to just punitive, just punitively, even in the schools. They can do something innocent. It can be misperceived, and before you know it, they're coming down harder. And again, depending on the child, but for the most part, it really, really doesn't matter, in the eyes of those that are misjudging and prejudging and have a bias. So I really felt his heart, when he came to the stage, and you have to see the video, you have to watch his speech. It is moving. I mean, it just, if, listen, your eyes are going to be raining. Like, seriously, if you have a heart at all, um, yeah, your heart, your tears are going to be raining. And so we have the article. We'll go through it in just a moment, but I do want to say that kudos to Jonathan and congratulations to him, because I honestly feel like he embodies the award that he received. Shout out to Jason Lee. Shout out to Hollywood Unlocked, which is Jason Lee. Is this brand? Shout out to him. I really think that, I mean, I've been kind of seeing him throughout the years, from reality TV and where he is today. And obviously, he's been, making moves in the Hollywood scene for quite some time, even before reality TV. But from where he is today and how he's moving today, I just want to say I'm very proud of Jason Lee in this moment, because I really think that he's really doing something for the culture. And I'm not even like playing. Like I'm seriously very thankful for the vision that Jason Lee has. I really am, because receiving congratulations and accolades from people that really don't know you or can't feel you or understand you or relate to you, that's one thing. And I think that, yeah, some people do long for those things. They long for the accolades and from, people. But when you receive it from your peers, and let me take it a step further, when you receive it from your people, because one thing about Black folks in America, we know that we are interconnected. We know that we are, right? And so there is this notion of family. That's why when we greet each other, it can be a complete stranger. Be like, hey sis, hey bro. It's we know that we're interconnected, and that's just how we move on a soulful level, because we're very soulful people, right? And so just having him being celebrated, just having him being celebrated amongst, us, amongst the community, amongst, what I mean? This is special. This is more special, I think, than a Grammy or whatever that he can receive, and whatever award that he can receive at the highest level, you know what I mean, in terms of his career, Oscar, at whatever level. I think this meant a lot because it came to him in a moment in time where he didn't feel worthy of it. But yet at the same time, he embodies perseverance. For those of us that have been really like having a pulse on what's been going on with him in his career, and really have been doing our due diligence when it comes to reading transcripts and touching base with people that have their eyes in the courtroom. Shout out to Danny. Touching base to other content creators that are really trying to read articles and figure it out. And shout out to Kat Not Williams, for reading these transcripts and things of that nature. Connecting with groups of people that are doing their due diligence, searching for the truth, and then reporting it as it is, right? So when you've been doing that during this whole time and now see him where he is today, and he's getting his career back, he's getting his life back, his heart seems to be open and embracing where he is right now in terms of his love life. I'm so happy for him. Like I can just shout hip hip hooray, like for real. Like I can really shout that from the top of my lungs. I'm so happy for Jonathan. So a sincere congratulations to him because I think he has earned it. Like I said, in terms of him and the award that he received, perseverance, like in my opinion, he truly embodies that. And you can't even speak on that or him unless you know the whole story. For those of you all that like to comment based on little, captions and based on little snips, little sneak pics, and a 25-second TikTok, then y'all need to have a seat. Y'all need to have a seat. Be humble and sit down because you don't understand what it's like to be in this kind of fire and to come out in this way. You know what I mean? You don't understand. So just be humble and sit down. All right. So that's why I say shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, yeah. But anywho, let's talk about it. So from the moment that he walked on stage, I think like I said, I watched the whole thing, and yeah, I was like so moved by everything. You can click on this particular video. I believe that's TMZ. It doesn't pop up right away. I try to scroll down and see what other. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of videos with the speech per se, or the whole award, that piece, his portion of him going up and receiving the award. But what I will say is that from the moment he got up to the moment he hit that stage, and Iyanla presented the award, I didn't have a chance to hear what she said leading up to it because in the video that I watched, it's only like 16 minutes long, and so they literally started recording like as she was introducing him. So and I know that she has something to say, and I'll be happy when the full thing is on YouTube where I can watch it, because I'm definitely interested in definitely watching the whole award ceremony. I really am. But listen, the whole thing's gonna have you choked up from the beginning to the end. Just his portion. If you watch it, you'll catch it. It is on YouTube, I believe. Cut. What is it? The Marley, is it Marley Key TV or something like that? Malarkey. Cut the Malarkey TV has the 16, is it 16 minutes and 52 seconds. You can go watch it. I won't air that because I'm afraid of the copyright strike. So I'm trying to avoid sharing anybody else's platform and anybody else's content. All right. But I will try to play some of the audio so that you can hear it. But I want to say that what you can't see is, I'm going to try to describe it. She Iona Van Zant, Iyanla, my bad, Iyanla Van Zant, she presented the award to him, and as he was coming to the stage, I mean, from the moment they connected, you know how she is. If listen, she can fix your life. Okay, listen. From the moment they connected, I mean, she just hugged him in a way that only a mama and an auntie can hug you. You know what I mean? That after you done fell and you done hurt your knee and you just need that motherly, that family love, that hug. Wow, it was so intense. It was just so loving and so nurturing. And she just hugged him. And then it went from there to her just ministering to him. And again, for those that know, like she just started ministering to him, and it just blessed me. It just blessed my heart because I think during this whole time as he was going through his fiery trial, I feel like that he needed that. He needed to know that we have his back. And I feel like that he was disappointed because the majority did not. We did not. The majority, I had his back. And like I said, a small community of YouTubers had his back, but the majority of us did not have his back. But he did share in his speech different people that did have his back. They may not have been rah rah in the public, but in private, he received text messages from notable people. We'll read the article in just a moment. I mean, he was given whatever he needed, in private while going through in public. But I think that in receiving this award, it just really breathed like new life into him and a fresh wind into him. And I'm really happy for him because he does have a new gig. He's going to be, it seems like his career is being revived, and so I'm really happy to know that. And again, this is based on the information that has been reported in the trial, and the decision and all the things that came out, and him running for his life. And we seen all the stuff, right? All the things that went viral concerning the situation with him and his ex, and all the stuff that was reportedly, him being accused of, that fell flat. It didn't, obviously couldn't stand in court. And then what they finally decided to do with him while they were trying to do a public lynching. I'm sorry, this is my platform, my commentary, my thoughts, and my opinion. When that didn't really work, yeah, they tried to hurt him where it did hurt, which was financially. He lost millions and millions of dollars as a result, as well as was humiliated for how this whole process was handled. And it taught him a lesson or two. So we're going to read exactly, what was entailed in his speech if you can't hear it. And in that way, we'll do it that way. So I'm just going to go back to the article. Shout out to all of those that are watching. I appreciate you being up with me. You must be on the West Coast. Shout out to all the West Coast out there. I enjoyed the concert, Ken and Friends. It was all of that. He really did represent the West Coast. So if you're on the West Coast, make a comment. West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New York. But I was, listen, I was crip walking, blood walk. I don't know what I was doing at home, but I was celebrating right with you because they're not like us. They're not like us. Okay. So shout out to the West Coast. If you up and you're from the West Coast and you're watching me at 3 a.m. in the morning, I appreciate you. But feel free to make a comment. All right. And don't forget to like, or please don't forget to subscribe, because we're trying to build up the channel. Yeah, we do some little positive things over here because we have enough negativity. All this week has been positive, by the way. I've been smiling all week long. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. So the article. All right. So again, we already read the title. We're going to move on. You can actually on deadline.com, you can actually have it read to you as well. That's an option here. We won't do that. But here it says Jonathan Majors was surrounded by supporters on Friday as he accepted his first award since he was convicted. All right. Again, it was harassment, and then it was, again, not intentional. We have to understand the wording. Wording is everything in December. The Creed 3 actor, thank God, of course, and Hollywood Unlocked, the founder, Jason Lee, as he accepted the Perseverance Award at the Fourth Impact Awards in Los Angeles while reflecting on his arrest and guilty verdict in his speech. And so this is part of his speech, but we're going to go back to the actual, like, Iyanla giving him the award. And when he came on stage, y'all, it was so moving. Please go watch the video. I think I might even just put the video in there just for you to go and watch it so that you don't have to search for it, because it's hard to find right now since it just happened relatively recently. So it's going to be probably difficult to find because, again, they're gonna listen, all the negative stuff is gonna go viral, right? But the positive stuff you got to dig for. Okay, so I had a hard time finding the video. I did. And that's just what it is, right? That's just where we are right now. All right, so I'm gonna play the video, like, from the moment he hit the stage and the moment that Iyanla hugged him, and he just broke down, y'all. He just broke down, means started bawling, like boo-hoo and crying on that stage. So moving, so moving. You said, no, you're from the South. Hey, Pam. I didn't even see you. Insomnia, me too. I'm glad you're enjoying the commentary. Yes, shout out to the South. Y'all hour behind us, but we love you too. I'm trying to move down there. All right. Okay. Thank you, sis. Listen, I was just taking it all in. I wanted to kind of, give y'all the credit too, because if it wasn't for you all's commentary and you all's content, I wouldn't have known that the video was available. So shout out to all the crew. Shout out to Pam Entertainment. Shout out to Dre. Again, all the family that just had Jonathan's back the whole time. You know what I mean? And what is it? Just all the family. What is it? Cat Not Williams, Danny, the whole bit, everybody. Shout out to them. Yeah, because if it wasn't for you guys reporting it, I would not have known it was available and I wouldn't be having this conversation. But let's listen, okay? Just listen to Iyanla. Y'all got to see this. I'm gonna put the link to this video just so y'all can get the full video of this. Okay, just listen. Perseverance Award. All right. Yo, Nathan, okay? You better come on here. Come on here. Iyanla, you better go on here. Listen. He got his life fixed the moment he got on stage with Iyanla, Nathan. The moment he got on stage, okay? He got his whole life fixed in that moment. Come on, somebody. If you know, you know. When she began to lay hands, oh my God. Okay, he got his whole life together on that stage. I'm telling you. So yeah, it was very, very emotional. You got to go see it. You got to see it. Okay, everybody's cheering, of course, and he's kissing his bae. Okay, he's kissing his bae, his boo. And he's going to the stage. All right, we're giving you the blow by blow. All right, he's going, and then as soon as he hits the stage, and I'm seeing some of the brethren even in the audience, like taking some tissue. They trying to play it off like my eyes are, they kind of raining right now. I don't know, it's misty right now. I even seen some of the brothers rubbing their eyes. He just broke down. She kissed his forehead and just gave him the biggest hug that only an auntie or a mama, me mom, mama can give. And she just started rubbing his head and his back, and then she started just ministering, y'all. It just, whoo, child. I'm telling you, you got to go watch it. But his speech was phenomenal. Very, very heart, felt, and very, very sincere. I feel like, and I know for a fact that he was humbled by this. And you know what? Sometimes when you are humbled, it just sets you up, you know what I mean, to be catapulted to the next level. I feel like the next level of his career is going to be phenomenal. And he says in the speech that he always felt prior to the incident that he was self made. And then he came into the realization after all of it was said and done that it really took a village. It took people supporting him and, giving him the layup and, pouring into him and assisting him in the way that they have, did throughout, since he was younger and trying to figure out what it is he wanted to do and coming from Texas to New York and his whole entire journey. His speech was phenomenal. Very, very well written and thought out. And I think that since we haven't heard from him in so long, like since the interview, you know what I mean, the infamous interview, we haven't heard from him in so long. I think that some of us forgot of just how well spoken he is and just how well he is a writer as well. Etc. 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 We need you, bro. And so he's talking about Jason Lee. Of course, he's giving him his props for even having this event and considering him. I'm a little nervous. I'm ready. You know what's interesting also, like as he was like revving up, to give his speech, is like he said, "Can you hear me? Let me speak up." It's almost like, because sometimes you can be hit so hard it can knock the wind out of you, and you can forget who you are. You can, you lose your voice, you lose your heart, your confidence. And in that moment he was like, listen, you can't hear me, let me speak up. I was like, yes, come on, okay, straighten your back and say it from the chest, right? And he began to really just share his heart. If he did had some things written down or some things that he contemplated on saying, I think he probably threw all that out the window and just simply, really spoke from his heart. That's what it felt like to me. Now I was waiting on Megan. Yeah, tell the truth. Who was waiting on him to to give a shout out to was Boo. Now y'all was waiting on it. Now I know there's been a lot of haters out there, and we'll get to it in just a moment. A lot of haters out there, saying, this is fake and you know what I'm saying? We don't believe it. It's just, it's not believable. It's a setup to try to repair his career, even though she was there while he was in the muck and the mire and in the fire. He was like, through the fire. It was so funny. That's the whole thing. You got to see the video. Um, but yet when he said, I'm gonna try to play that part. I'm gonna try to play that part so you can hear it, okay? But when he confessed I felt all of that right there. I felt like he really does really love her. It's not just, even if I know he loves her on a romantic level, but when somebody can stand beside you, you talking about them stick beside him, I'm gonna stick beside him. Like, she's the poster girl for sticking beside him. If you can stick beside him of all those allegations of DV and all this SA and all the other foolishness, but you can stick beside him, okay? Yeah, you need to be awarded too, sis, because that was a lot. Because a whole lot of other people would have been afraid of, it somehow impacting their career and opportunities and things. And she's about to star in a movie. It's about, what is it? Divorce in the Black or something like that. She's about to star in a movie by Tyler Perry, and I'm gonna watch that. That's gonna be, I believe, on Amazon if I'm not mistaken, but I think it's in July. So try to catch that. Support. Let's support. Let's support. But I'm looking forward to seeing that movie as well. In addition to his project that he's going to be, kudos to him, acting in the, I believe taping is going to begin in the fall. I forgot the name of his project, but it's already out there. Everybody's been talking about it. All right, so let's listen.
And I'm here, like, standing. Yeah. And I am more
Yeah.
happy and encouraged to be here with y'all.
Amongst us, right? Just him saying, like, I'm here. Like, I felt that thing, like, I'm standing. Because in truth, anybody really going through that will be crumbling right about now. Like, you would have still been in shambles. Your life would have been in shambles. It would have been hard for you to pick up the pieces after all those things, all of it, because it is scary. It's scary to be a Black man in America. And this trial let me know, again, it doesn't matter where you fit or sit socially, economically. This trial let me know that don't even matter no more. Like, it never did, to be truthful. You know what I'm saying? In terms of how he was handled and to me mistreated by the judicial system in New York. You know what I mean? Yeah. What you say, Pam? You said he did speak from the heart, right? And his perspective, and everything he does is to repair his career. That one night derailed his career, right? His livelihood, relationships with his daughter, and we support him 1,000%. And it's like one incident, and he realizes obviously that he made a poor choice in allowing her to come into his world. I just saw a comment even on the same video that I'm going to share with you all. Somebody made a comment, I'm so sad for him, but he made the choice. I was about to say, how many mistakes that you done made? How many missteps did you done made? How many bad decisions that you done made? Some of us drank while driving, right? But we didn't have the accident between A and B. Thanks and praise be to God, right? We got home safe. But there was that one person that drove one time and thought that they were sober enough thought they could get home safely, right? The house was right around the block or up the street and around the corner, and they end up hitting and killing somebody and taking somebody's life, and everything just changed just in a split second. So again, I think we all have been there. Thank you so much for that. I agree 1,000%. It's like it only takes a moment. It takes a one poor decision, to just throw it all away. And unfortunately, for those of us that have Black sons, I tell my sons all the time, and my son when he went through something horrific in high school where, he was obviously being, done wrong. And it was racial. I believe it was racial because some of the other some of his other peers that were around with him participating in whatever they were doing, which was wrong. They got one got a hit on the hand, tapped like just like that, little tap on the hand, and the other young man didn't get in trouble at all. But yet he got 6 months. He was kicked out of school for 6 months. Okay, so and it didn't have any prior, incidents up until that point. It was just something minor that happened, and that was it. So those of us that know, when it comes to our Black boys, when it comes to our brown children, it's like we have to tell them, unfortunately, in the world that we live in, you cannot make a mistake. Because if you do, now you human, you're going to make tons of mistakes. But the moment you're caught in that, you may not have the same grace as your peer group. You may not have the same grace as your colleagues because of the melanin in your skin. And that's just real. And my son, prior to that, just like most kids, oh, mom is different, because he has more kids that are not the shade is that, you know what I mean? And so, we didn't have to go through all of that. Y'all were into civil rights. I said, listen, I was born in the era. I was born in 71. So, we were the children, that benefited off of the civil rights, the back of the civil rights, right off the back, literally, of the civil rights movement. Right. And so I'm like, well, no, I wasn't in the trenches. We were the kids that benefited. We were the experiments, for all the schooling and all the stuff. Right. But we were raised around others and didn't have to deal with the segregation and all that other stuff. And so, and it was the golden age of civil rights during that point in time, right? Because Dr. Martin Luther King got assassinated and John F. Kennedy got assassinated. So everybody kind of had the woo sign and said, okay, we're going to try to do the right thing. Too much blood in the streets. So we kind of benefited from that era. All right. So we didn't have much going on. But later on, down the line, we begin to experience racism because it's still alive and well. So I tell my sons, even after 50 some plus years of life, it's still here, you know what I mean? And it's still in the hearts of people. And so you really have to be, cognizant of that. And you just have to tell your children the truth so that when they're having to make decisions independent of you, when they're now adults, my sons are now adults now, and they're having to make choices, preferably they'll make the right ones and they'll hear my voice and all the wisdom that they got, and that will spare them and save them from unnecessary pain and heartache. But I digress. Let's listen to Jonathan, okay? Let's listen, and then I'll read the article, and then we'll call it the end of this. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you.
All right. I reckon folks want to know about, this last year. As a Black man in the criminal justice system, I felt anger. I felt sadness.
Anger, sadness, hurt.
Surprise.
Yeah.
When they snatched me up out of my apartment.
Snatch, honey, not just walk.
And handcuffs. I didn't feel like all that. I didn't feel like Jonathan Majors, Mr. Green, Mr. Kane. No, I felt like, can y'all hear me okay? Let me speak up.
That's right. Say it from your chest.
I felt like,
exactly.
Like a little scared, weak.
Wow.
Boy.
Yeah. Regardless of what he accomplished up until that point, I think the reality of the situation really, he was confronted with that. You know what I mean? In New York, he knows the biases there. He probably have had some incidences in the past. And now, despite of his accolades and his accomplishments, and, he's being treated like he doesn't matter, like his feelings doesn't matter, and what really happened, the truth doesn't matter. You know what I mean? His truth, his side doesn't matter. They immediately sees an opportunity there, and he felt like a pawn, like he said, a little boy. He and rightly so, because it could have went another way. It could have went worse than that. Like they could have came in drawing guns, and they could have just accidentally pulled the trigger, and the end. So it could have definitely have went another way. It could have went way worse than what it went. But thanks be to God that he is a celebrity. You know what I mean? And if something was done like that, oh my gosh, can you imagine the protests, and all the things, how we do. But yeah, it's just now reflecting and looking back, and that's pretty much what he's doing as he's giving his speech, very heartfelt speech, and just kind of sharing like how he felt in the moment, like because I think everybody's kind of been thinking like, hey man, how do you really feel after all of this, right?
Despite the support and the evidence that was in my favor, I knew she was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad because of who I was and what I am.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens to Black people all too often. Guilt or innocence often have little to do with the outcome.
Right.
It's a harsh reality out there.
All right, so he's speaking on that, his experience, and then he's going to start shouting out people. But the part I wanted, like, it's towards the end. But we're going to read the article so that I can give the names and everything. I just don't want my videos to be flagged. I did a video recently, and my whole thing was shut down, y'all. So, okay, it's right here. I see her when they turn to her. All right, so I think it's right around here, if I'm not mistaken. All right, when he tells, he appreciates his mom and all the women in his life, and of course, he, goes from this person to that person. He appreciates this person, that person. And he says, of course, my mom and my auntie and this one and that one. And then this is for all the haters out there. Let me just go back. That really believe that this relationship is fake,
I am personally the result of mentorship, love, and investment of so many people. Like achievement, you understand, perseverance is a collective effort, okay? Built on the shoulders of those who believe in us. The strongest shoulders in which I stand on today belong to the women in my life. First and foremost, and always first and foremost, my mama.
Okay, so he's going to shout all them out.
I'm on her shoulders.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Wait, hold on. Let me go back a little bit more.
I'm on her shoulders.
Sorry, y'all.
And second, especially, Megan.
Megan! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh no!
I love you beyond all limits.
Aww.
With all my strength, with all my heart, I love you.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be the tough and strong, and you done carried me so many nights.
Yes. She stuck beside him. Oh God.
Through the fire.
Through the fire.
My sister.
Okay, so yeah, go check out all of it. It'll bless your life. But that right there, I was like, man, that was so heartfelt. Like for all the haters out there, please. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the article. All right, so here's the quote. So these are the things he said. I reckon folks want to know about this last year. He said, a Major said in a clip shared on X, as a Black man in the criminal's justice system, I felt anger, I felt sadness, hurt, and surprise. When they snatched me up out of my apartment in handcuffs, I didn't feel like all that. I didn't feel like Jonathan Majors, Mr. Creed, Mr. Kang. I felt like a scared, weak boy. All right. He continued, despite the support and evidence that was in my favor, I knew blank was bad. And it was bad because of who I was and who I am. And we get that. That's a double entendre. Obviously, it's because of who he is, right? As the actor and, obviously A-lister, but also as a Black man. And this is what happens to Black people all too often. Guilt and innocence often have little to do with the outcome. It's the harsh reality I learned. But I know Black men face this every day, and it deeply impacts us and changes the way we navigate through this world. And it's true. My son is still dealing with that. I think he has like some PSTD or something. Majors immediately broke down in tears as Iyanla Van presented him with an award, greeting him with a kiss on his forehead and a hug. And she also bowed down to give him the award to reverence him as a king. The MCU star acknowledged, I'm just me. I'm imperfect. I have shortcomings. I acknowledge them. I love my craft. I love my daughter, my family, my dog, my workout buddies who came out here. I guess the guys that came, just to celebrate him. I appreciate y'all. I'm just that guy whose faith has been tested and has been strengthened by this testimony. There will be moments in your life when things get dark, and I mean really dark. And I've seen them depths. I've seen the darkness in myself. I've sat in that pitch black, and what I've learned is when you catch a glimpse of light, you run as hard and as fast as you can towards it. I will never take that light for granted again. Remember, during the course of the testimony, it was brought out that he was dealing with a lot of mental illness, right? Like that he was really wrestling with wanting to be here, not wanting to be here. We heard some of the audio and things that were said that were very heart wrenching and really surprising because we didn't know that he was struggled with that, being known and so beloved and, being this sex symbol and all of these things, but yet struggling internally, with his person and being who he is. And he went on to thank those who have been his light and show him support, including my brother Will Smith, which is great. Like he texted him, he said, in the midnight hour, he said, letting a homie know, hey, I'm thinking about you, man. Stay up. Tyler Perry was also mentioned. He said that he was a breath of life. He breathed life into me. That's what he said. Just loving and supporting on people the way that he does. I don't know the David person. He said the whole group of threads. I don't know what that is. Maybe y'all can clue me in terms of who he's talking about. But I'm imagining maybe it's a group of people that work together, that they're on a text thread where, they're like talking and, encouraging each other and that sort of thing. I think some of y'all may be on that thread and I won't participate because it's crazy, but I felt the love. Dion, Roxanne, Tyler gave me an office in their production office when I was walking through the desert feeling lost and crazy. They put a battery in my back. So just having a space where he can work and be creative. And so that's awesome. As he said, Courtney B. Vance has been with me since Lovecraft Country, my Uncle George Forever. Whoopi Goldberg, wow, fed me and Megan one day. We weren't hungry, but we were over there hanging out. And she breathed this light of wisdom and understanding and caring unto me and my queen. And it was Whoopi who allowed us to understand the support of community. I appreciate all of y'all. They are extraordinary people, added Majors. Majors went on to thank all the women in his family, but not before the burst of tears while thanking Good, which is Megan Good, I'm assuming, who attended the event with him. Okay, and of course we have the picture with him and Megan. This is an old picture. I love you beyond limits. And he's talking to Megan with all my strength, with all my heart, which we just heard. I love you. He said, I don't need to be so tough and strong when you carry me so many nights. I love you. Right. Of course, when he didn't have any strength to do anything, she was there for him. And I don't think he would ever forget that. Right. So the Harder They Fall actor sang the chorus of Shaka Khan's Through the Fire as the crowd laughed. And that's my song right there. So that was wonderful. And he said, just to Ella, my baby girl, we're going to be all right. Your father loves you, added Majors. I love you. And I thank you for this. And of course, they have all the other stuff about the misdemeanors and stuff in the argument and all the other things that have happened. Um, uh, Also, at the end of the article, they mentioned although he was fired from several projects. Remember, we said that he lost millions of dollars and obviously projects and things that he was connected to. And he was also dropped from his management company, which was weird and odd, but that's what happened. But you know what? Listen, that's how you really know who's with you, right? That's how you know really who's on your side. You're during the time of adversity. I want stuff to hit the fan so that I can know who really got me. You know what I mean? Who's really riding for me? Who's going to be there? So that when I rise again, I can begin to make some really great choices. So it's good that they fell off so that he can really be connected to some people that's really going to truly have his back. Majors it says has been booked for his first role since the trial. Is it Merciless Martin? I don't know how to pronounce that. Merciless. I guess that's his first new role since the trial. And so I'm looking forward to that. Let me look at some of these comments. I love how the what? I love how all the whites are freaking out. What do you mean? I wonder if it had the same energy when Brad Pitt still gets opportunities. I'm not sure exactly what they're making reference to. Kang, okay, that's an anonymous comment right there. I'm just reading these comments because I'm just interested in what people think about the article. This is shameful. We are living in some kind of bizarro world. How is it shameful? Again, this is just shows really shows our educational system and how people don't read and they don't research and they just jump to conclusions based on a one liner or best based on a header. Okay, so this person, whoever the anonymous individual is, it just shows you where we are. I don't know what part of the world they're at, but if they're in America, it just that's a display of our educational system and how it sucks because they don't research, they don't read. Okay, they're entertained by a 30-second clip on a TikTok. Okay, and these shorts on YouTube. Okay, they don't do their due diligence or anything like that. So that's what it tells me. Give me a break. Just crocodile tears. Seriously? The only thing he was upset about is getting caught. I'm gonna have to make a comment. I'm not gonna make an anonymous one. This is from a person named Bill, but my comment will not be anonymous. If he repents, I'll accept him back. Until then, we remember. Man, these people are crazy. I'm gonna make a comment in just a few moments. I'll be sure to make one, and I'm gonna encourage you. I'm gonna drop the link. This link will be in the description when it's all said and done. Go to this article and make a comment, please. Especially if you disagree with these knuckleheads. Older comments. Where's the older one? This is vile and disgusting. Shame on him and his supporters. Weirdos. This is also performative. If only Hollywood Unlocked had the power to uncancel. What? Cue the mean girl Karens in the comments. Right. Hungry to throw someone away because of their sadistic joy in destroying people. Yeah. The worst person I deal with on a personal and professional level, and I've been in the making movies for 25 years, are actors. Not their fault. It's a selfish career pursuit. Everything has to. What does that have to do with anything? Um, Everything has to do with me, me, me. When these celebrities step in, the world shifts to catering to their me, me, me. They become a tough group to deal with. They played this game on set with their crew. How long before famous actors ask anyone a personal question like, "Are you married? Where you're from?" That's your bias due to your wounds or whatever. Don't put your negativity, your wounds, and all the trauma that you've been through in the business on this man. He don't have nothing to do with that. They're talking and about their kids and bringing up themselves. One went an entire film, famous actor, breakfast, lunch, dinner, planes, trains, and automobiles. Didn't ask one person on the crew a personal question. The same actor would clam up and get all pouty if at dinner we weren't talking about him or if he wasn't talking about himself. Who's the famous actor? But here's my point. Society creates these monsters, so he's calling them monsters, in instances where we give an award to someone who was found guilty of assault for beating the snot out of a woman in a war. Way to go, people. I can't wait to make a comment anonymous. I cannot wait. But again, these are the people that are misinformed, that are unfortunately making comments, stupid comments that have absolutely zero to do with all the things that were reported in trial, have zero to do with the facts. It's just all of their opinion and them just putting their own experience on there. It's just ridiculous. What did you say? You said, I want my 20% back. They were hired to assist him, right? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So I don't know who those people are in the comment sections, but what I am saying is that, again, what article are we? Where are we? Deadline. Go to deadline.com, go to this article, and feel free to make a comment as well. Because number one, no. I know that, again, people believe all women, all this foolishness. stop. Just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. This man was not faking or pretending or putting on a drama act. He was sincere, okay? And the facts, right, were in his corner despite of all the nonsense. You know, oh my gosh. Y'all may I shouldn't have read those comments, but I'll be sure to make one though. But I want to say congratulations to Jonathan because he deserves it. He has persevered through this nonsense. And I'll be glad when this is really completely over. And it really doesn't matter what people think in the terms of the scheme of things. God knows the truth. Those that did their due diligence know what the truth is, and him and the young lady know what time it is. And at the end of the day, I wish him the best. I want him to prosper and to continue on his journey, doing what he loves, being with his family, and going on with his life. That's what I wish for him. And it's unfortunate that these people, because of their bad experiences with actors, and I'm not saying that he didn't have his moments where, he was maybe he was a prick, for a time or two on a project. I don't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was in a bad mood. Maybe he doesn't seem like the type though that would not be personable when the opportunity presented itself. He just doesn't seem like the type that would do that. But at the same time, okay, let's say that he was human, because the fact remains is that we're all human. And so we have our moments. And it's interesting how, and I get it, there are narcissists out there, right? There's people that are so engulfed with themselves and only themselves. There are those people, they do exist. But to say that the majority of actors that are out there, that's all they are, that's a complete lie and a complete bias. Just because you had a few bad apples does not mean that everyone else is like that. There are plenty of people that are humble actors. They do what they do, they go home. They're not trying to be seen. They're not on social media. They don't want all the attention. They just want to do their thing, make their money. They do what makes them happy, and they want to live their lives. There's a whole lot of actors like that. I'm not an actor, all right? I'm not an actress. One day I wanted to be when I was little, but that was way back then. I could not even take the demand of that. But I'm saying all that to say, I just think it's just wrong for people to just put their stuff on him, believe a rumor, and just assume that it's true because she's just so happened to be a white girl crying white tears. I can't. I can't. Especially when all the facts and things that were reported really outed her to be an alcoholic, right? And having her own issues. But none of those things were even put front and center because they were so focused on his celebrity, and they were so focused on all the things that didn't even matter, that weren't even true about him, that they were reporting. So it's just sick and sad, and it is sick. This is a sick, a bizarro world. The fact that a person is more innocent, and I'm not saying that wasn't guilty. He cheated on her, obviously, right? So he was guilty of something. But to say that he did the things that he did when he didn't, and go through the things that he did, and then to say, oh, we're in a bizarre world. Yeah, we are. When the guilty gets away with murder, and the one that is innocent is now having to serve all the time and lose all the money because he's a celebrity. Yeah, we do live in a bizarre world. So that's that. That's all I have tonight. But I'm very happy for Jonathan. I'm very excited about his new path and what he's doing. And so I'm going to keep him lifted in prayers. But there's going to always be haters out there. There's going to be people that are not going to take the time to do their due diligence to find out the truth. They're going to believe what they want to believe and feel the way that they want to feel. There are some people, you can look at the same things and they'll have a different interpretation. It can literally say he is not guilty. They'll interpret that to be whatever they want to, because that's just how their minds are wired. You can't change those people. So I hope Jonathan just moves through this world. I get what he's saying because of the trauma that he has experienced, that he is moving through this world differently. Just really understanding like how they really feel about him as a person. I get that part. But at the same time, I don't want this to paralyze him or to traumatize him to the point where he doesn't really show up in spaces. To me, the way he showed up in the moment, though he was sobbing, though he was, feeling the way he was feeling, which was overwhelmed by the love that he was getting in that moment, I believe that he's going to show up. I believe that it's going to ground him even further and humble him even further. and he's going to be even bigger and better than he was before all of it ever happened. That's what I believe. So that's all I got. Shout out to Jason Lee. Shout out to the culture. Shout out to the Perseverance Award and all the people that were connected in making the choice that who would receive it. Shout out, of course, to Jonathan Majors and also to Megan Good. Shout out to Iyanla Van Zant, right? And I'm going to make sure that I put the link to that particular video so that you can see it through uninterrupted, and also the link to the article so that you can be sure to make a comment if you choose to, just to let the people know that we all don't feel that way. There are some people that actually have did their due diligence and realized that this man is indeed innocent. He's not guilty. All right, much love to you guys. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I just had to stay up just to say kudos to Jonathan. Don't forget to like this video, make a comment if you feel inclined, and don't forget to subscribe. We are building. Shout out to all the new subscribers. I appreciate you. No, I do not post as often as others. I post when I'm compassionate about something, when I'm passionate about something, I want to talk about it. That's when I post, but I'll increase posts during the summer months, especially because I have more time and I'm still recovering from my surgery. And so I'll be able to do more or produce more content. So feel free to subscribe if you like the commentary, you enjoy the content that is on the channel. Until next time, peace and love and all that good stuff. Make sure that you stay safe. Drink plenty of water because it is hot outside. And I'll see y'all next time in the next video. All right, then. Bye. Peace.